So yeah, you know Lalon is on your left-hand side, and it's a small town. Literally, Lalon. Literally behind you, you see this huge wood, which you would know as Neverwinter Woods. And you are near a place called Helm's Hold, which is within Neverwinter Woods.
You've been sat here for an hour and a half, nothing, and now I start playing, and you just...
It's Cerberus, though.
What do you want?
He's in a lawful good mood today. So...
Oh, I wish I got a picture of that. That was amazing.
I know.
Hi.
She suddenly decided she needs to go outside. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
The dog.
That's fine.
He's mad.
Fucking hell.
Take your moment. Did you not talk an hour ago?
No, because this is us. Yeah, so Veska, whilst you're waiting, you notice the huge wood, because you can't fucking miss it. Neverwinter Wood. You do know that by this time tomorrow, you need to find the portal. However, you are very tired. You've been travelling pretty much 24 hours, I would say, at this point. And you're going to need some rest. So, last time, I mean, I'll wait for Kay to get back as well, but last time you had discussed it, you were saying you wanted the long rest first, and then you wanted to explore/find the portal. Which is fine if you want all your spell slots back, or you can take a short rest, which means you will have more time to explore, but you won't have your spell slots back, and you would be getting 1 point of exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm down 3 slots.
Yeah.
And
so the other route,
exhaustion plus Fae shenanigans is probably not a good move.
No. So if you want a long rest, you can have a long rest now, explore later. Or if you want, you can explore now. You would have the exhaustion point because you were exploring, obviously. So you can try looking for the portal now, have an exhaustion point, but then if you do find the portal, you can then sleep, and you will literally be right next to the portal when you wake up. That is down to you. So, Ig, now that you're back, I want you to roll me a 1d6 when you're ready.
So I found my pen. I got it.
Cerberus,
I've got it. It's all good.
Okay.
Just buggered off and left me here now.
Aww.
Skittles are going everywhere. Right, what is it? 1d6?
I like to think that Ig is just like that tired, like rainbow candy is just fucking falling out of his arse. He can't find anything. Cerberus is trying to trip him up and he's like, I've lost my Skittles. Anyway. A 4.
A 4?
So today, Cerberus is just neutral. Just pure neutral. So as the rainbow candy is somewhat falling out of your pockets and your arse, Cerberus is like trying to exactly. So bloody hell, Cerberus is trying to eat them.
Teenager. Fine.
Oh God. So as I was explaining to Kay, Christine, fucking hell, it's one night. As I was explaining to Christine. You have got Neverwinter on your right, you've got Lalon on your left, you've got the big, huge Neverwinter Wood behind you, and you're near a place called Helm's Hold within Neverwinter Wood. So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys have been travelling for over 24 hours. So the plan, or what you could do at the minute, is you could go and have a long rest, and then go exploring afterwards. So a long rest would pretty much take you to the early hours of tomorrow morning. Or you can explore first and have an exhaustion point against you, but then have a long rest afterwards. Or if you wanted to take a short rest, it means you won't get any spell slots back and you will have an exhaustion point on you anyway. So what would you both like to do?
Oh, yay. I don't have spell slots, so that's not an issue for me, but...
I would like spell slots back, so I would like a long rest if possible.
Yeah, we'll go with that then.
Okay.
That's fine.
So do you want a long rest?
When do we sleep? That's the thing.
I was about to say, do you want a long rest now? Which means that you will have to then try and find where this portal is. So you'll have, like, less time to find the portal, if that makes sense. Or do you want to try and find it now, but potentially not find it and, like, miss sleeping, if that makes sense? Like, it's up to you guys.
If we had 2 short rests, does that count as a long rest? No.
I mean, if you have, like, if you have 2 short rests, I will say that you won't get your spell slots back, but you won't get a point of exhaustion against you. I think that's about as fair as I can make it.
I think we're probably better off sleeping, having a long rest now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then trying to find the portal, because then at least if we get ambushed, you've got something to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we start looking for a portal now and then don't have time to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's fine. So you would
Going
like to
into
go.
the fade world looking like zombies.
You would like to. Yeah. I mean, you're all fucked. You look knackered. Some of you stink of sweat or horse guts or man guts. I'm not entirely sure who's who anymore. I think
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Man flesh.
I think if Hawk was to turn into another horse, he'd have like 2 butchers this time asking you to take that knackered nag off your hands. So you're all a bit like, there's people passing you as you stood there, not sure like whether to go into the woods or to Neverwinter City. Like, stay away, darling. Vagrants are out again. Can't just. Oh, this is ridiculous. The Grey Cloaks will have something to do about you. They will, and they just carry on, and you're just like, guys, really. So, would you like to go to the woods and have a rest in the 100-acre woods and find Winnie the Pooh? You won't find Winnie the Pooh, you'll just find an owl bear. Or would you like
We could find Winnie
to...
the Pooh. He's public domain now.
No, it's not Winnie the Pooh, it's Winnie the Who, because it's an owl bear.
Oh.
Fucking owls. Or would you like to go into Neverwinter City and visit some of the taverns or the shops? Or get a long rest at one of the taverns?
Oh. I mean, how long would it take to get into?
So, I'm not really timing that. How I'm doing it is I'm going to be fair and say, if you go and have a long rest now, we'll say it takes an hour to find a tavern, and you can have a long rest. So, a long rest is, I think it works out at about 8 hours, if memory serves me well. It's about 8 or 12 hours. So, this is 2 o'clock, so like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So, 1 o'clock. So, if you have a long rest now, I'll roll a dice, and you can either wake up at like 10 o'clock at night, or you can wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So it'll be a case of me going high or low, and we'll see what it rolls, and then you guys can do that.
So we've got to be at the portal for one in the afternoon. No, I'm just trying to work out if it would be better to do a little bit of exploring, then have a long rest, and then
as far as you know, you just know that somewhere in the woods, a portal is going to be opening up like the next day.
Okay.
So me saying 1 o'clock, it was me trying to work out what time you would get there, plus the rest, plus if you were going shopping.
Got you.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be it's still there at 8 o'clock at night. It might not be. It's depending on where you'll find it, or if you know anybody that will find it that would know where it is. Ig's already tried asking Blue. Blue isn't particularly aware. He knows there's one there. He just didn't know what time it would be there, because that's not usually like what he knows, if that makes sense. So, if you were to not to be a bitch about it, if you were to go now, I will say that it will take you to 2 o'clock in the afternoon to go in, find a tavern, and then we can roll, and you can either wake up at 10 o'clock at night, or you can wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's up to you.
Okay. I'm just thinking, because like, if we slept now, then no matter what, we'd be waking up in the middle of the night, and so there'd be like no option of shops, as if it was closed.
Oh no! This is Neverwinter. it's a huge capital city. There will definitely be shops open.
Or it never sleeps.
Oh, well, that's right.
Yeah, it is more. It just means that not all of them are going to be open. Like, say if you wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to be like, it's still Neverwinter, yay, daylight. It just means that not all of them are going to be open, but the vast majority of them will be, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, what would you like to do? You can either go straight to the forest and sleep there with Winnie the Who, if there is a Winnie the Who, or you can go into Neverwinter City and find somewhere safe.
I mean, safety would be nice, because if we sleep in the woods, there is a chance that we'll get eaten by monsters. But then at the same time, we then have to go all the way back into the woods if we're looking for portals. So I don't know. Egg, make a decision.
Egg, you know this place, right?
Yeah.
Quite happily hide in the woods.
Okay, deciding vote. Hawk.
What? What? I mean, I don't even know where we are. Where are we? Actually, would Hawk even know where he is? Where's my dice? I'm going to use my Hawk dice today. That's not... Oh, do I use my DM dice? No, I better use my Hawk dice. Oh yeah, Hawk definitely has no idea where he is. He rolled a 2. So... he hasn't got a clue. It's like... Ig, I'm really tired. I'm sorry. I don't know where I am. And he's having a bit of a breakdown. As he's rubbing, he didn't realise he had like leftover Satan Pony's ashes on him, so he's rubbed and now he's got like a huge charcoal mark that's just come down him. As like you see some people passing, you notice like a dwarf, seems a bit like a traveller. He's got like a backpack on, and he's got like, you know, the canvas sleeping roll tucked to the back, and like a fishing rod sticking out one side. Quite a large tummy, a lot of hair. So, you know, long beard, all braided up, nice little braids at the top. And he seems like a jolly fellow, but he comes up and he goes, Halfling Barbarian, I don't see many of you around, ha ha ha! And he goes to, like, slap Hawk on the back. So, you watch as Hawk just goes fucking flying onto the ground as this guy is just like, oh! I'm sorry, I took you for a barbarian. Oh, better luck next time. I'm off fishing. And he just carries on. Hawk is just laying there on the ground, hasn't bothered getting up, and is like, I'm just going to wait until you make a decision, and then we'll go from there. But at the moment, it's really quite comfy down here, so I'm just going to and start sleeping.
Casting it over my shoulder.
Roll me a strength check. I'm gonna say disadvantage because he's a bit of a dead weight at this moment.
Alright, well that was 14 and that was 19.
Okay, so let's see what
is my strength? +2, so... +2? Why did I write it in silver? I can't fucking see it.
It's like, it's alright, I've got my thieves' tools, and then he's like, I can't see it. Oh god, what did he roll?
It was 16.
16. Yeah, so you struggled a bit because Hawk rolled a 14. So you're like, it's fine, I can pick him up. And you're like, Jesus Christ, he's eating way too many cheesecakes. But you do manage to like put him over your shoulder. Hawk, who's like once just had like a black mark down his face from the soot. Like quite a bit of him is now just covered in mud, and you've flung him over his shoulder and is like, oh, I've always wanted to be a potato. And he's just laying there.
You are a potato, Hawk.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. I like potatoes. Did you know they go really well with cheese and mayonnaise? Anyway.
Go to sleep.
Oh, Jesus. You hear, like, Braeda having a bit of a chuckle to herself about lemons and limes, but otherwise that's it. So, what would you like to do?
I mean, my vote would be a tavern, because if we're all looking horrific, then probably clean ourselves up, because if we turn up to this really swanky fae party the next day all covered in shit, They're not going to let us in.
Roll me a performance check.
Anyway.
Roll me a performance check, Veska.
Okay.
I'm gonna see how like fucked up you're looking this evening. I mean this afternoon.
That's 21.
You know what? You haven't got any marks on you. Like, you know what? We really need to clean up.
Covered in blood.
Like, you've got like some blood stains.
I made it work.
No, you've got some blood stains, but like people just, because you're a bard, they just think it's wine stains. Like, you've had like a good raucous party the night before. You haven't really stunk the place out or anything. They're like, casual bard, wine stains. Oh, she must be good at playing her lute. And as you're passing, you see this sort of like human gentleman comes up to you. He's looks a bit of a noble. And he stops and he goes, "Oh, a bard. Do you know any songs?"
Of course, yes.
"Oh, would you mind playing this one? I'll pay ye. I could do with a jolly good step this afternoon. I don't know what time of day it is."
I'm afraid I don't work to commission. I'm sorry, my muse is not with me today.
Oh,
I suffered a great personal loss, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm sorry.
Oh, what a shame. Anyway, and like you seen as he was pulling out like a nice little sack of coins, but he just shoves it back in his pocket and walks away.
Damn.
Fuck you.
Hey, I've got 29,000 gold. I'm okay.
Yeah, but
he
like,
could have had 100,000.
You might have.
he could have had 100,000. I mean, he could have even had 100,000 fucking owls. But like, you're not gonna know now, are you?
That'd be like the ultimate thing, an owl mimic. You're just like, oh, some coins, and like, surprise, it's an owl.
No, surprise, it's an owl. Surprise, it's a mimic. Anyway, let's not make that a horrible homebrewed creature. So you start heading in.
Canon now.
It's not canon. We're not having a fucking owl mimic. That's not something I wish to homebrew. So, I mean, you can have a nightmare about one of those. I haven't got a problem. So you make your way into Neverwinter. You start to recognise pretty much the city. You used to work here as a knight. You used to patrol these sort of roads and areas. You do see quite a few grey cloaks patrolling around. What would you like to do?
Go where they're not.
Okay. So, first off, I want you to make me a history check, Ig.
What's my history?
Would Veska know anything about Neverwinter?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. She's probably heard of it.
Okay. Okay, you got 13. Veska, you can make me a history check if you want, as you're a bard and you might have heard things about it. Okay.
History. That is in 19.
Okay, so, Ig, I think you're vaguely aware of the, like, sort of layout of Neverwinter. You know there's definitely some districts around in this city, and you do know that there was a war with its neighbouring town called Luskan. But you do know that some of the bits were rebuilt, but you're still a bit unsure on what was destroyed, what was rebuilt. You're just trying to piece shit together. Veska, you've heard of Neverwinter, and you happen to know that there is there's about 6 to 8 different districts in Neverwinter, and very similar to Raven's Bluff, each one has their own sort of shit going on. So what I'm going to say is, because the Grey Cloaks are patrolling Neverwinter, is each time you go into a district, I'm going to get Ig to make me a certain amount of stealth checks to see if he gets spotted against the others.
Okay.
Okay? However, Ig, you have currently got a halfling who is dreaming about potatoes slung over your shoulder. You can either drop him and leave him, you can try and wake him up, you can give him to Veska, or you can test his luck with Cerberus. But if you continue to carry Hawk, you will be at a disadvantage.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Hawk. Try and do a nice thing.
Now, I do have a disguise kit. So I
Have you got a sack we can put him in? And not a bag of holding, like a potato sack. And then he can't actually be a potato.
I love
I was
the fact...
for you.
I love the fact it... Like, one of the things I did for Hawk as canon was somebody did try to stick him in a bag of holding, and you're like, I'm going to put him in a sack.
Is he going to have a really traumatic flashback?
Probably.
Good point. Do I have a bag?
Not again.
Just out of interest, do I have a bag?
I mean, you will have like your rucksack with like all your stuff in it.
Kit too, but...
Well, then what are you complaining about? Dye your hair, it could go blonde.
I'm going to do that in the
recognize you.
Already in hand.
Ig, would you like to be Lucius now?
Ig with like 1990s like peroxide hair.
No, I was thinking like Ig's like, I need to blend in, and then he turns into like fucking Lucius Malfoy, and he's just like, oh yes, I'm not Ig.
I was thinking more like Justin Timberlake from the 90s with like the weird like ramen hair.
No.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Jesus Christ. No, Ig turns into Justin Bieber, and it's like, oh no, here we go again.
I love it if it's like really, really moody emo clothes, everything's dark, everything's grey, and then he's just got like bright blonde hair.
Yes. What would you like to do?
Can I wake him up?
You can absolutely have a go.
Frog.
I know. I had no intention for this to go this way.
Would you rather I left him?
You can leave him if you want.
I don't want to leave him.
Don't leave him there.
I like him. I'm just being a liability right now.
Alone on the street somewhere.
I mean...
Oh no, I'm sorry, we're dead weight, we just left.
Hawk is having that thing like that guy did where he woke up in France on a park bench, only he wasn't pissed. Oh god, he wakes up on Winnie the Who, and he's like, how the fuck did I get here? Anyway, I mean, your options are you can leave him, you can try and hand him to Cerberus to see if Cerberus can, like, hold on to him. You can pass him to Veska, because Veska doesn't need to make...
-1 strength.
Might work. Veska doesn't need to make stealth checks. However, Veska, you could easily just put him in a sack and then, like, drag him across. That would just be a case of, I'm dragging potatoes.
At all.
Eh?
She's like, hello, citizens. I may be covered in blood and I'm dragging a suspiciously body-shaped sack behind me.
To be fair, you rolled a 20 on performance, so this is why they're not seeing you've got blood. They just think you're a raucous bard who's just completely covered in red wine stains. And you've basically had some sexy times. That's all they're thinking of at the minute. So I think if you were to...
Hang on. Why don't you put me on the lead and they'll think nothing strange at all. It's part of your performance.
That was so weird because I was literally just about to say if they see you dragging a body in a bag, they would probably just think you're into some like BDSM shit, and then lo and behold, Ig's like, just put a collar on me. Like, wow, okay. I didn't realise we'd turned this into fucking 50 Shades of Gay, but sure, let's do it. So, what would you like to do?
During this turn. I want to wait till I'm laughing in real life because my handwriting just becomes like, you know, when you see like a heart monitor and it's just like, my handwriting right there is.
That's the fucking happiness level being projected through your handwriting. Oh god. So yeah, you can absolutely have a go at waking Hawk up.
Oh, I mean, I can try. I can just for shits and giggles. I can try and like just put like have him in, like as a piggyback, and see if I can carry him. Which would be
you just say he's had too much to drink. It's fine.
Yeah, for the great time.
You can carry him if you like.
I could try.
So Veska, roll me strength, but not at disadvantage because Ig is handing him to you.
Okay. Ooh, I will go for this. Actually, no, this dice is falling. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. gonna let me down. 8. Actually, for shits and giggles, I'll roll the dice I was originally going to roll.
Okay.
8. 7. Actually, 7. Okay, sorry. Better. Fine.
Roll me a dexterity check.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. I'll roll my super tiny die. Dex. Where is Dex? 9.
Okay, just let me get my DM dice out.
Oh god.
No, not the DM die.
I think I've just dropped it on the floor and put a hole through my floor, so that's fun. What did you get?
What did I get? Shit, what did I get?
Just reroll.
9 or something.
Yeah, it was 9.
9.
You're right.
Okay.
9.
Right, so Ig hands Hawk over to you. Hawk is just complete dead weight. However, taking into account like Hawk is also wearing his weapons as well, you go to take him, but the weight of it is just too much that like your hands just automatically like but not to the point where like he takes you with him. So essentially what you've done is Ig's passed him over to you, you've gone to take him, but then like as you're stepping away to like haul him over your shoulder, you drop him and you just watch as this halfling just on the floor, face first in the mud, as he's just there, like he's now woken up. He wakes up and his whole face is covered in mud, and he's like, I had a dream I was fallen, and I think I have fallen. Oh shite, I think I've landed in horse shit. And like you see somebody.
Hey, why would you throw him on the ground like that? That was so mean.
Roll me a deception check. I'm gonna see if Hawk believes that.
13.
Hawk looks up at you and he goes, "You dropped me, didn't you?"
Yes.
As Hawk is just like, so he's doing the, you know, like draw me like one of your French girls sort of pose, like in the mud and just looking up at you like. You watch somebody come past, so it's just like a normal half-elf lord. He just goes past and he goes, "Oi, dirt monkey, that shower's down the road." And you just see Hawk like look across and he goes, "Oi, go fuck yourself." And he goes, "No, fuck you. No, fuck you." And they just start like doing that across the road. So Hawk gets up, he dusts himself off. Ig, roll me a stealth check.
Fuck. Oh, 15 plus 7.
Okay, bear with me.
I don't know what that is. 20 something. 22.
Okay. So you're watching as like Hawk is having this sort of fuck you off with this random person, and you start to see these grey cloaks make their way over. You literally just like manage to hide yourself into sort of like the nearest alleyway, and you're just like, "I'm Batman, gone." Anyway, you see these grey cloaks approach Veska and Hawk, and you see what seems to be like human. He comes and he goes, "What's all this then?" And Hawk is like, "Mwah." I was practicing for my show. Mwah. Mwah. I mean, Veska's a lovely bard and she does amazing songs, and I decided to be her puppet, as he's absolutely just covered in shit. So Hawk's going to try and deceive the guard.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, because it's at a disadvantage. Okay. Yep. He's got a +0. I love the fact they've both got 8. What were the odds? So the guard. So as much as Hawker's like, no, I'm really just an act, and the guard's like, I'm not too sure. You might be, you might not be. I mean, there's a beautiful bard.
Can I give him advantage by like agreeing? And just been, oh, yeah.
Okay.
I will be right back. I just need to grab the charger for the monitor.
Okay. So yeah, you're like, no, he is, and he's like, oh, mademoiselle, aren't you stunning? And like this guy. Hello. What's a charming young tiefling such as yourself doing in Neverwinter?
Oh, just passing through. I heard good things about the taverns and things. So,
clearly.
we just thought we'd come along and,
I see you've been making good trade, and he like motions towards your wine stains. Wine stains.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very, very. I'll just try and wipe some off. It's very good vintage. This one, yes.
Yes. Are you performing at all this evening?
I haven't decided yet. So I'll see what we find. Any more to recommend?
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm just trying to think. Where would you have entered in? Sorry. Ah, fuck it.
I'm just thinking. Yeah.
He's like, oh yes, absolutely. So there's three good taverns. I think you probably need to clean up your halfling friend. He stinks. And roll me an insight check.
Can you believe I just rolled an 8? Plus 3.
You get the feeling Hawk is fuming. You might have heard teeth grating together in frustration.
I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder and I kind of it's fine. Once they're gone, it's fine.
So the moment you're so you're going, it's fine, and Hawk is just on
the shoulder.
On the shoulder. You're it's fine. Hawk is It's all right, Veska. I know it's fine. It's fine. And you're yeah, it's fine. No, seriously, it's fine. It's fine. And meanwhile, the guard is just oh yes, absolutely. There's the Moonstone Mask. There's the Shining Serpentine and the Fallen Tower.
What is that? The Moonstone Mask?
I'll write it down.
What did I miss?
Shenanigans. Shenanigans. Yeah. I can't spell.
But perhaps we need to be the Shenani-gang. The
Shenani-gang.
I like that.
Fucking brilliant. I've lost what it's called. There it is. It's called The Shining. Shining Serpent in and Fallen Tower. So you've got Moonstone Mask, Shining Serpentine, and Fallen Tower.
Okay.
So he's yes, possibly see you at one of those, maybe. And this guy looks pretty damn hopeful that he's going to see you again.
Okay.
Why is he hopeful?
He's got a bit of a crush on Veska. He said she was a lovely young tiefling.
All right, okay.
Just out of interest, I obviously I would never frequent places like this, but are there any taverns that you would not recommend I go, for safety purposes and things, anywhere that, off limits?
So he sort of has a bit of a think, and he's no, I mean, Neverwinter's a pretty safe place. If you do venture out of Neverwinter, I would thoroughly not suggest going to the town of Luskan. Shady fuckers they are. Don't go there.
I see.
And he goes, anyway, good afternoon.
Write that down. Full of shady fuckers.
Yes, full of shady fuckers. Don't trust him. You can't trust a Luskan. Ig, roll me a perception check as you hear the word Luskan.
Luskan, that's a great word.
Ooh, 19.
So Luskan is another town in Neverwinter. I mean, not in Neverwinter.
That's the one on the left.
No.
I pay attention.
I think, if memory serves me well, Luskan is between Neverwinter and Icewind Dale. It's the next major town before. Yes, it is. So you've got Neverwinter, then you've got Luskan, then you've got Whoops-a-daisy, and then you've got Icewind Dale. So.
Whoops-a-daisy, that's an interesting town.
Yeah, I've got somebody's China horse that I'm currently repaired. It's on a string and I've just knocked it because I'm scared of it getting damaged again. So, whoops. Anyway, So yeah, don't trust Luskan. So Luskan is another major city. Judging by Veska's thing. Oh, Luskan, that's funny. Like, I'm gonna say Veska's not really heard of Luskan. Ig, you are aware of Luskan because Elette was somewhat tangled within a Luskan hostage situation that you got her out from.
Yeah.
So that's down to you if you would like to explain or go into, or if that's something you want to privately know, let me know. So Ig, you are aware of Luskan, and you could agree or disagree on whether Luskan is a good place to go or not. So yeah, you've got them places. So as these guards leave, Hawk sort of pipes up and he goes, you know what, thinking about it, I'm sure Blue said that there are some good taverns around here. Although I think one of them was a strip bar. Probably best we don't go there. Anyway, well, I need to get this off my face. I would perhaps
suggest not going to one of the ones he mentioned, because if they're good taverns, then that's where all the guards will be. So
Hawk has a think, and he goes, well, I'm not
entirely... Are they still there, or are they gone?
Oh no, they've gone. Like, they've gone. So Hawk has a think, and he goes, I've heard of a place called Driftwood Tavern. Blue used to go there. I don't think that's the one that's a strip club. Or I hope it isn't. Shit, I can't remember. Anyway, let's go. So
Hawk... the worst we can do is stay in our rooms away from the stripping. It's fine.
So the whole canon thing to do with Blue and Hawk was McNugget sent Hawk out to find Blue, who is currently working in Neverwinter. And Blue was working as a sort of pole dancer stripper type thing. And that's where they both met each other. And Blue was the one that gave Hawk his first gay panic. So that's the sort of joke I like to run with.
Aww.
So there's two inns that Hawk mentions. One's called Driftwood Tavern. I don't think anybody needs me to spell that, do they?
D-R.
I can feel Bexy. Spell it, please.
Yeah. She's gonna get fucking Nutella chucked in her face at BMX. And then the other one is Beached Leviathan.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
But just bear in mind, one of these are the strip club.
Schrödinger strip club, I love it.
Well,
that's not a strip club name. I don't know what is.
Yeah, thinking about it. I mean, it's not. It's considered an inn, but like, I would like to think you walk in and it looks like an inn, but then they lead you through another door and it's like, no, actually, it's a rated 18 strip club. So, yeah, Hawk's not sure which one is which, but he knows those are two places that guards aren't necessarily going to go to.
Okay. Which one's closest?
Should we do a high or low?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. High.
So, where do you want Driftwood? Do you want Driftwood on the low or the high?
Oh.
We'll do it that way.
Driftwood low, the other one high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guaranteed it's going to be the strip club we go to, but, you know.
Not necessarily.
We're going to go to a normal tavern and we'll be really disappointed. Like, what's behind this door? Oh, just the room. Oh.
No, you're like, oh, what's behind this door? And it's just somebody sat in a toilet. Like, do you mind? Occupied. As you're going through Neverwinter, you do realise that the population here is pretty well balanced out. You see a range of different races, but the vast majority seems to be half elves, humans, which is pretty damn normal. You do see a few dwarves, and you notice that as you come to pretty much the central part of Neverwinter, there's one of them town maps, and it's usually going you are here. And you do happen to notice that there is a little sort of dwarven quarter or district, if you like, just off to the sort of far left, if you want to. Depends on which way you're looking at it. On to the far northeast, on to the west hand side, again depending on how you're visualizing it, but I'm visualizing it this way. You do notice the west coast. So obviously this is the same coast that Waterdeep would be sharing. But you do notice that Waterdeep was actually sort of normal weather, so like sort of sunny, warm, not humid, just nice day out, bit of a breeze. As you've gone up to sort of Neverwinter, you do realise that it has got colder before you hit the city. And judging by Ig, you would know that because Luskan was near Icewind Dale, like the further north you go, the further like colder it gets. However, as you've entered Neverwinter, you're back in that nice sort of warm temperature, everything sort of not cold, like there's a bit of a chill, but nothing to sort of go, oh shit, we need the hoodies and duvets on top of us and quick, get the fireplaces on sort of situation. And you do realise that some of the ice that's probably floated down from like Icewind Dale sort of seas, it's not actually freezing up Neverwinter's sort of shores on the west coast. It's all nice and warm. And the reason why it's warm is because there is a local volcano. And due to some sort of Fey shenanigans, this is actually lore as well. Due to some sort of Fey magic, this is what's keeping Neverwinter warm. And the one thing that is well known about Neverwinter is they're all year round fruits. The soil is that good that you can constantly grow like grapes or like strawberries all year round. And Neverwinter does seem to export out a lot of food. So that's not the only thing it exports, but that's like one of the major things about it. And a lot of people will come to Neverwinter for sort of like winter holidays if they don't venture further down south of Faerun or the Forgotten Realms. They will go to Neverwinter because it's unseasonably warm. Now, like I said, as you're walking through, you see the dwarves, you see a few dwarves, you see humans and half-elves mostly, but you do happen to notice there seems to be a bit of a minority of dragonborns here that don't seem to be, like sort of, there's no sort of racism, everybody seems to be getting on like happy families, so you got some dragonborns, you see some eldrin, so otherwise known as high elves or sun elves, I think it is. Basically elves that are like the oldest of the elven races. Usually these elves are more found in the Feywilds. I think it's wood elves as well is another Feywild elf, but these guys are like the oldest and purest of the elves. You do see like the odd one of them walking around, and they seem to be heading into more of the fashion sort of stores. So I want, if any of you want to, you can roll me insight. You don't have to, it's up to you.
Yeah. I will. I like roll.
As you've come to sort of like this huge fountain and map, where it's like sort of like a central plaza, Hawk just decides to dump himself in the fountain and just fucking rinse himself off because he's done. So 1 minute.
No one noticed.
I'll roll a stealth. I mean,
like a child in a public place. I want to go paddle.
To be fair, Hawk is a Lightfoot halfling, and as long as something is bigger than him, he automatically hides. So I would like to think that you guys are like, oh look, there's a map, and then you hear like a small splish, and like you just see Hawk just like floating, having an existential crisis on the top.
Can't take him anywhere.
No, you can't. But I mean, it's fun. And he's just like floating around the fountain. A few people are like chucking coins at him because like, look mum, a fairy spirit, and Hawk is just like, sure, that's fine, I haven't got a problem with this. As he's floating around, like you also see Juliet is just also floating at the same time, so just going around. But yeah, insight.
I like to imagine like when you see pond skaters and they use like the water tension, so they're just like,
yeah. That's more or less what's happening right now.
Tills.
So what did you get in your insight check, sorry?
I had a
that
dirty
was 9, I think.
9, Ig?
20.
So Ig, you would know that the reason with these Eldrin elves like getting really expensive sort of ball gowns, suits, interesting sort of like decorations to wear. Some of them are probably a bit on the kinky side as well, because Fae. They seem to be heading or getting ready for the Silversday Festival.
So we could follow one of them to a portal.
It's an idea.
Oh, that's an idea.
You do also happen to pass some tieflings. There seems to be a nice little sort of tiefling community here. So as you're passing, they'll say hello to you, Veska especially, and like, oh, are you passing through? Come join us. We're at one of the sort of taverns. If you'd like to join us, we haven't heard a tiefling bard before, but it'll be interesting. Usually, I mean, some of us are warlocks, a couple of us are paladins. He's a cleric, and you just see like this sort of really buff tiefling with a mace strapped around his back plate. Yep.
Oh, sorry, look at that face.
That is cute. So,
it's a picture. Look at that little smile.
That is cute. It looks as though Cerberus is like, Mummy.
What do you want? I won't let you out. Stop licking me.
Aww.
Get off my arm.
Cerberus wants to play. Oh shit.
This, I think, sums up the egg-Cerberus relationship more than anything else.
Go on then.
It'll shit in a minute. Like, really? And then followed by, this is the chaotic.
Yeah, that is literally Cerberus and egg in a nutshell.
Get off!
Fucking. Aww. I love it. I love it.
The eyes is like.
Oh god. So, how to put this into context? So 1 minute, you're talking to like this lovely little band of tieflings that sort of like, oh, you know, if you get a bit lost, join us. There's a good tiefling community here. We even do tiefling pride, but that's not till like next week. So, you know, there's them, and as you're doing that, you see Cerberus trying to like hug Ig, because there's such a good atmosphere here in Neverwinter. Like, Cerberus is getting all the feels, and he's just like, we love you, and Ig's like, no, fuck off, I'm trying to hide, and he's like, no, let me love. And then you're hearing the splash in the pool, followed by Hook going, I don't fucking care, I'm a fairy now. So this is all going off. But yeah, like, there's a lovely little community of tieflings here. You do pass some orcs as well, and again, nobody seems to be batting an eyelid at them. There's some half-orcs. It just seems like a general nice place to be. It's probably better than Waterdeep. It's more diverse as well. Ig, stealth check, but disadvantage, because Cerberus is trying to hug you.
Cerberus is buckled off now.
Not while this is happening.
Richard's nearby. He's just gone off to steal some more sausages.
Right, 12 plus 7 is something.
19.
Thank you.
Get me in my quick maths.
I know.
And that one disappeared. And that's 15 plus 7.
Okay, so as you're like, Cerberus, fuck's sake, get down, you hear, oi, is that you? Ensanth! And you see like a curly sort of ginger-haired guy running over towards you. Like, Ensanth, buddy, I haven't seen you in... What would you like to do, Ig, as you've been spotted?
Fucking disappear.
Okay. So... Tell me how you're going to disappear. That would be the interesting thing. How are you going to disappear?
I don't know, I have a scroll of invisibility, but I would like to use that later on.
Okay.
It's just a random old school friend just passes you in the street and you're just like, no.
Camouflage, activate. So, I will say, if you want to, you would need to dash away 60 feet and then do another stealth check to hide.
Alright, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Okay, so Veska, are you watching this, or are you just too busy admiring the fact there's a buff tiefling for once, not a twink tiefling?
A buff?
I'm keeping an eye on Egg at all times, just in case.
Okay.
So I'll see this.
Right.
See this happening.
So I want you to roll me perception, Veska. Let's see how perceptive you are of this whole ordeal.
Now.
I'm not even going to bother.
Not very is the answer.
Why?
I don't even manage to tell Veska why he's hiding it.
No, but she knows that he's got something, but she trusts him enough that he'll tell her eventually.
To be fair, you had seen Matthias, and you would have recognised the grey cloak, sort of, or the Neverwinter sigil, so you'll know there's something here to do with Ig, and I don't think you heard he was.
Want people to know about it.
Yeah, like, I don't think you're aware, because I think it was only Rebecca that knew, like, quite a bit from their conversation, but you know there's something that he's trying to hide from that is here in this city. Especially as now somebody else has just come up and gone like, Enzanth, and he's like, no, I'm Mary, and is pissed off. So what did you get for perception, please?
9.
What have you done? Captain Shart's come back.
Hey!
Would you like an eclair?
Go on then.
You greedy bitch.
Thank you, Captain Shart.
You're welcome.
You come over and you see a dragonborn, like, sort of, with a swashbuckler hat and a large feather come over. And he comes over to Hawk and he's like, would you like an eclair? And Hawk is like, sure. And he's like, you greedy bastard, and walks away, chuckling to himself. And Hawk is like, fuck it. Anyway, so, perception, you got a 9. I'm going to say it's only after you hear Enzanth that you then pay attention. At the minute, you're probably... Would Veska be admiring, like, the big muscles on this tiefling? No? What would she be admiring?
Probably not admiring, more just intrigued, because I don't think she's really met that many tieflings.
Yeah, okay.
In general.
So, yeah, you see a nice little group. Like I said, there's some of them that's, like, warlock or paladin. You got, like, one cleric who's the big buff guy. Doesn't... You know that scene in Tangled where, like, there's that huge guy and he's got, like, 2 unicorns and clinks them together? That's the cleric. So he's just like, but it's not 2 unicorns, it's 2 ducks, and, like, he clinks them together and he goes whack. So yeah, anyway, so and
he places them together and he goes fuckers.
I've
like, so
got in my notes now, Veska is busy talking to very rough looking duck. I started writing down. No, hang on. Must be a gift for this.
there's fucking that's like that ADS movie. Look at the baby. Look at the big baby. Wow. That's literally that. Oh Jesus. Ig, you run 60 feet. Roll me a stealth check. Fucking hell.
Oh, what is that? 18.
Oh yeah, you're hidden. So you run into an alleyway.
Yay.
The alleyway is quite dark, but there's quite a few people in here. You see some merchants that set up, like, you know, a few sort of stalls here and there. Like, there's somebody buy your melons, and you see some people. There's like some casks that's left along the sides. You notice that one side there's like a shop, on another side there's like a tavern. Where would you be hiding?
Can I go to the melon store and buy a melon?
Sure. So you walk up to the I've forgotten what his fucking name is. You walk up to the melon store guy, and it's just a half orc. And he looks at you and he goes, "Get your melons, get your big busty melons." And you see a lovely selection of melons. There's watermelon, there's cantaloupe, there's gala melons, there's the lime melons. What other melons do you have? There's a load of different melons. It's just melon centric. What would you like?
I'll just take a melon, please.
Yeah, what melon? So he's like, what melon would you like? We got these big ones. And he picks up like a big fuck off watermelon. He's like, oh, we got these cute little ones. And he picks up like 2 cantaloupes and he's just squeezing them.
What would you recommend?
He picks up a honeydew and he's like And he does like the hip thrust, and he's like, the honeydew melon.
Right, I'll take one of them, but not that one.
Right, this one. And he brings out another one, but it's a bit smaller, and he's like, yeah, that seems about your size.
Tell you what, I'll take both.
Oh, greedy. And he gets like another melon, and he sort of like puts it into a Hessen sack, and he's like, right, 10 silvers, please.
Here you go.
Great. And he hands you the melons.
Perfect.
It's a wild night on the town for eggs.
Fucking hell, isn't it?
Does this melon seller have a name?
Yeah, he does.
Melancholy.
Do you remember last time we were making jokes about Princess and the Frog, and like there was the Mama Odie and her snake was Mildew?
Yeah.
Well, I decided for a fucking laugh that like the next character I'm gonna make is a half-orc that sells melons, and his stall is called Mildew's Melons, and his name is Mildew.
Oh, Mildew's Melons.
Mildew's Melons.
Love it.
So yeah, you have successfully purchased some of the finest melons from Mildew Melons.
Why do you keep whining at me? I've let you out. What do you want?
Melons.
You've got any melons?
You don't know, you got two.
What am I going to do with them?
I know,
I love the idea of like Pig's inventory. It's like, daggers, poisons, assassination gear, and then melons. Just in case you fancy a snack.
I did not expect anybody to go to the fucking melon seller, I will admit. So yeah, but as you managed to sort of like sneak your way in, the guy who was chasing after you just didn't see you as you were purchasing these beautiful melons from Mildew. Veska, you see Ig sort of like disappear into the alleyway somewhere, but that's probably about it. Hawk is still floating in a pond.
Do I see where the guy who was looking for him went? Or did he just kind of give up and then walked away? No.
He's gone down the same alley as Ig, but because Ig has blended that well as a customer, like he's just run right past him. He's like, you still hear, Ensign.
I'm doing the whole Assassin's Creed sit on the bench
with your melons.
Yeah. I mean, it's like blending the creed. Turn around the corner, blend. There we go. And he walks on past, shouting.
I thought you was going to say, I'm going to sit on a bench with one melon in one arm and one melon in the other. Like, it's all right, children, it's okay.
I might put down my top in a minute, pretend I'm a woman.
Well, ma'am, those are some mighty melons. I suppose it's better that way. Then, like, it makes out you've got like two really large fucking pollux, and people think you've been bit by a spider. Sorry, I think there's something wrong with your testicles. Nope. They're just juicy.
Just big. Stop whining at me.
Anyway, so you've managed to successfully blend in. At some point, Hawk soggily gets out of the fountain and he goes, "What's happened? Why have we lost Ig?"
I don't know. There was someone looking for him, but they used that other name that he apparently went by. So,
what was it? Pants? Something pants, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Enhance, I think it was.
Enhanced pants.
Enhanced pants.
Maybe. You look at him and like in his arms he's just got like a load of copper coins that he's currently holding from the fountain.
Oh, your performance is doing really well.
It is, isn't it? Would you like some?
Performance is about you to take advantage of whatever is going on.
Exactly. I think you're rubbing off on me the wrong way. I don't particularly like this. And he's like, anyway, would you like some copper coins? Because Juliet keeps taking them into her house, and I'm going to be jangling all the way from here to Luskan.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. I'll buy you a beer or something with it.
Sure, I appreciate it. Just please don't buy her any sweets. That was one weekend I don't want to go over again. So
that was a mistake.
That was a mistake. So he hands you over the copper coins, and he managed to get 100 copper coins.
Oh, very nice.
From people that just thought he was a random fairy flown in a pond. As he's handing them over, you see Juliet's 2 little legs pop out of his head. Well, his hair. And you see like
terrifying.
I know, and you see like 4
control is a zombie.
Don't. And you see like 4 beady little eyes looking at you, and her 2 little pincers are just. And then the moment you take the coins, they stop. And she starts coming out. And then starts furiously rubbing her little nibs together. As she's not happy you're taking her coins.
Hey, you were in the pool too. It's not my fault you couldn't earn anything.
So she disappears. And then she comes back with the flower from all that time ago. And she just chucks it out of Hawk's head. I don't know why I said head. Hair. And then like rummages back inside. And you hear clink, clink somewhere coming from within his like bird's nest of hair. And he's like, alright, Juliet. I think you've got enough coin. Clink, clink. Juliet, please stop. Clink, clink, clink. Fuck's sake. So yeah.
I'd like to imagine that over time, like Hawk's hair gradually becomes more like that kind of like beehive hair.
Yeah.
From like the 60s, with just the amount of stuff.
It is how I've designed it, because it is like curly and everything. Like that's more or less how it's gone. But because like bits have tried to slip out, Juliet's just like spread webs across to like hold shit together. So it's like halfway between curly hair and halfway between like sort of weird beehive dreadlocks at the minute. And it's like the moment Hawk goes for an actual shower to like fix his hair, like all this shit is just going to start falling out. So yeah. So what would you like to do?
I think I'd like to go and try and see if I can find Egg. Okay. But like try and be kind of subtle.
Yeah.
And then I see him and then make sure that I can also see if the other guy's about as well. So I can keep an eye on him.
If you're going to be subtle, then
yeah.
I would say performance, because you're just trying to casually walk away. If you're wanting to stealth, then you're trying to, like Assassin's Creed it. So what would you prefer, performance or stealth?
My stealth's better, so I will stealth.
Okay, so you're going to stealth. So, what did you get?
I got a 17 plus 4.
Oh. Okay, so you got 17 plus 4. 1 minute, Hawk is like, Julia, please, what the fuck? And you've just like completely disappeared from him, and he's like, fuck's sake. Right, Juliet, let's go. You've just completely disappeared. He has 1 minute he was talking to you, the next minute you're gone. You are that good that the guy that was looking for Ig is now coming back up the sort of like alleyway, and he's like, I just don't get it. Like, where did he go? We were such good friends. I mean, we used to sing about Big Titty Liddy, and you just like completely go past him.
Now we know why we made a beeline for the melon.
So yeah, you managed to stealth past him. Lol, I've just seen the water duck. So yeah, what would you like to Ig, would you have seen? Tell you what, Ig, roll me perception check as you're cradling your melons in a bag.
9.
Okay, so you don't see Veska sort of like stealthing up. Veska, roll me perception check.
Perception is +3. That is a 13.
You don't see Ig cradling his melons. So this is fun.
We're both that stealthy, like we don't see anything.
No, I would like to think that Veska's just like stealthy, like she's doing the whole Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, just a duh, duh, and Ig is just like, I'm just a melon seller in like a corner somewhere, and you've both passed each other, not noticed.
We're actually back to back, just like
yeah. Tell you what, as a joke, because like this is going to carry on all night if you two don't spot each other. Roll me a dexterity check, Veska, and roll me a dexterity check, Ig.
Fuck's sake. Dicey. Buggered off.
Oh, sorry, I'm just writing notes.
It's alright, don't worry. I'm going to see if Hawk has noticed either of you yet.
Oh,
that's
got
not too
9.
bad then. Okay, I'll just wait for Veska.
What am I rolling, sorry?
Just a dex check.
Dex check.
Dex.
17.
Okay. So you're like slowly both backing into each other, like trying to keep out the way of the guards and making sure. And the next minute, poof. However, Veska, because you had angled your tail at a certain point, you see Ig like trip over the back of you, fucking melons going flying in the sack.
No, not the melons.
As the melons just like land on the floor, and you hear a distinct splat, probably from one melon, but like, yeah, there's definitely some juiciness that's come out. You then see Hawk just walking up to you, and he's like, "Ah, there you are. So the tavern."
Yes, I think that's probably wise. Why have you got melons? No, we have food.
Melons.
Okay, but they're horrible. But okay.
Well, they were until.
Well, I mean, you pick up your bag and you realise that like one has definitely gone splat, but the other honeydew is still alive.
It's alive, a living melon. Oh my god.
Sprouts legs, puts on a fucking top hat and starts dancing.
Well, I can go back.
Excuse me, sir. Your melon is rather animated. Oh, I know.
It's not dead yet. It's still raw.
Yep, so Hawk comes over and he's like, right, well, maybe we should probably get to a tavern. It's starting to get a bit late. We're getting towards 2 o'clock. So, you know, okay. Everybody's a bit in full swing. Mildew Melons is like, get your lovely melon snack, good lunch, big melons, busty melons. He's that happy with one of the melons, or like, you know, he's not thinking right because his brain is a melon, but like he squishes a melon in his hand and he's like, oh, melon smoothie. It's just overzealous about melons. So you're walking through Neverwinter. Hawk is looking a bit more cleaner now that he's now not covered in shit. People still think you've got wine stains and you're like an amazing bard, because how could you not be? Ig, they're not really paying much attention to you. You're just sort of Spider-Man / Batmaning it through the sort of Neverwinter streets. You're probably on higher alert now because quite a few of the grey cloaks are like, oh, and Xanth's here, Xanth. I'd probably say at like one point you're passing a tavern, so probably the Moonstone Mask, and you see Matthias just sort of like, you know, tending to his horse and his cart, and one of the local grey cloaks is like, no, seriously, he's here, Xanth is here. No, I don't think he would be. I think he's dead. No, Matthias, we see. No, I think he's dead. Like, dead as a doornail. Gone.
Bless that boy.
Oh, God. He's like, no, he is definitely dead. Like, you couldn't be more dead.
I killed him myself.
Yeah, it's like, I swear he is. And he's like, Matthias, are you okay? No, I'm stressed. I was up all night and I met this weirdo last night and this team of weirdos. Like, you do not know what happened. Why did you meet a team of weirdos? Bacon. Have you heard they sell honey bacon here? Yeah, we live here. I'm going to get some bacon. And he just disappears into the tavern. So you do see Matthias like trying to defend the fact that no, you are dead. You are not coming back. He doesn't even know your name. Like, who the fuck were you? So
yeah, who's that?
Yeah, who is that? But you managed to make your way towards the Driftwood Inn.
Okay. Well, I forgot we were going to the Driftwood Inn.
Yeah, because it was...
I didn't remember which one we were going to, so
yeah. We never said which one you were going to, because obviously you don't know which one is the strip club and which one isn't.
That's why we didn't remember.
Yeah, but we basically rolled on whether it was low or high, and I got a natural 1, so Driftwood Inn. So you come across the Driftwood Inn, and this seems to be on the sort of like west side, not near the coast where you could walk out on the beach and be like, yay, cold water. It's on some hills overlooking the sea. And the reason why it's called the Driftwood Inn is because like the wood is, so like the exterior of the inn, it's made of pieces of driftwood. So you see like pieces of different bits of boats that have probably been smashed or sunk to the bottom, or like ripped up pieces. They've all been put together, and the inn looks quite colourful. Like there's even some must have been like cargo crates or something that got smashed and washed up on shore. So there's bits of like blacks and browns and faded greys and blues or oranges. I mean, there's even one that's like looks like a bit of wood where it had like oranges on it, but all you've got is oranges. So it's just like ANGS with like what seems to be the little start of an orange logo. But it looks quite cute and homely, and you see quite a few sailors out here just sort of, having a lovely drink. So what would you like to do?
This seems reasonably respectable.
So Hawk looks at it and he goes, yeah, Blue used to come here quite a bit. He says it's alright, as far as I'm aware.
Well, let's try not to get kicked out of this one.
Yes, please don't. I don't want to get kicked out of another one. Not because there's any fucking owls or anything like that. So, yeah, you walk into the Driftwood Inn, and you see a sort of... How do I put it? So, as you walk in, it's very much themed like a boat, if that makes sense. So you see quite a lot of, like, netting hung around the rafters. There's some anchors here and there, like buoyancy floats. You do see whoever owns this like inn has a fixation on rubber ducks, as there's like a few different ones in the windows. The seats are like, like the steering wheels in ships.
It's all very nautical.
Yeah, it's all very nautical themed, but like the seats are like mini steering wheels, or steering wheels that's been sanded down to make seats. The tables are like, casks that were once used for the ale, or like, cargo crates or something, but like they've been cut so you can put your legs under them. And it just seems a very sort of well looked after tavern that is very sort of nautical themed, but you can see whoever owns it, this whole thing being near the sea, it really means a lot to them. This is literally their life's work, if you like. And you walk in and you just get a sense of being at home by the sea. There's quite a few sailors in here. Some of them are smoking. There's, some raucous laughter coming across the room. A lot of them seem to be here on a break from having done a lot of trade on their ships, or are getting ready to set off across the sea. And you see behind the bar a sort of tiefling who's just sort of, wiping down the top of his bar, sometimes listening in towards, some of the laughter, like, oi, have you heard of Big Titty Liddy? Ah, yes, I have, and just having a conversation. So, you go. So what would you like to do?
I am going to buy Hawk a drink.
Okay. So you walk up to the bar, and the tiefling that's there is like, oh, good evening.
Hi.
Oh, wait, is it afternoon? Oh, I can't remember what time of the day it is. Anyway, that...
Time doesn't exist.
It doesn't, does it?
It's all a conspiracy by wizards. Everybody knows that.
Is it really? I haven't heard that. Please, tell me more. Tell me more. And like,
well, that's why they
put like
stay in powers.
They literally like rest their elbows on the thing, and they're just like, tell me more. I haven't heard this before. This is amazing. So they are sort of pink. It's like a light pink colour. And their horns, obviously, they usually start from the sort of like eyebrows, but they curl. They're a bit like they curl upwards, if that makes sense. They've got like a long sort of draconic tail, but there's like bits of feather that's coming out of it as well. Now, you get the feeling at first sight that this would be a female tiefling. However, you do happen to notice that they are seeming to be a bit more of a he, if that makes sense. So, for them, they would prefer they. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, tell me more. I've not heard of this. This is amazing.
Well, it's kind of one of those theories, because wizards, they get all this magic, and they live up in towers, and it always takes longer to go upstairs than downstairs.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah,
right?
that's weird.
And by the time you get to the top, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
But it's the same number of stairs. So why are you not tired when you get to the bottom of the stairs?
You know what? Just
see, they've done something.
Mind blown. Magic. Oh wow! No, I appreciate you telling me that. I gotta think about this. And like, whilst I'm thinking, and they genuinely aren't taking the piss. They are very much like thinking this through. Like, oh, I never thought of that. So they're like, anyway, what can I get you?
What have you got? My friend here, and I'll try and find Hog, who I'm assuming is somewhere in the vicinity.
I mean, yeah, he hasn't disappeared.
Just,
hello, Hawk, and he's just like, I'm here. So,
what would you like to drink? It's on me. I mean, it's on you because it was your money, but it's on me now.
Sorry, it is on you. Hawk is just like, can I have a beer, please? And like the tiefling, beer, and the tiefling just looks down and he's like, oh, hello. And Hawk is like, hi. And he's like, sorry, wrong accent. Sorry, we can get you a beer. And like they bring back a tankard of ale, but this is like Dragonborn sized tankard of ale. So this is like 2.
It comes in pints.
Yeah, it's like a huge, as a joke. I don't know if this is too soon for people, but like, do you remember in the Johnny Depp thing where it's like he had a mega pint of wine? Well, this is like a yeah.
I didn't look today, but it's all.
No, I heard it on TikTok. They were like, yeah. He drank a mega pint of wine, and he's like, what's a mega pint? But like, for shits and giggles, this is a mega pint of ale.
A mega pint.
A mega pint. So yeah, mega pint of ale, and it's probably the size of Hawk's head. And he's like, oh, thank you. And he's like, looks like I'm getting pissed tonight. And like, you just see Juliet just fucking fly off and land in it. And he's like, fuck's sake. So yeah, and the tiefling looks at you and goes, anything else?
Fuck it, I'll have a beer as well.
Yeah, okay. So that's 3 coppers each.
Okay, Ig, do you want a drink at all?
Just some water, please.
Sure. Seawater or normal water? And he gives
Sorry?
and they give you a wink.
Well, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, sorry. Seawater or water? Wink.
Just water. Please.
Just water. Oh, you're one of them boring fellas, and like they give you a glass of water.
Very average.
He is, isn't he? Very human. No offense to humans. Some of you are lovely, but like very vanilla, I think the term is called around here. No, is it vanilla?
Yeah, you'd be right.
Yeah, vanilla. Russell. And like you see another tiefling like pop out, and she's like, yes, vanilla is the right word, isn't it? Oh, I'm not sure. I've heard it was like bland. It's not bland. It's vanilla. No, seriously, it's bland. You can't tell humans they're bland. They're like potatoes. And like you hear Hawk go, wait a minute, fucking potatoes aren't bland. And they're like, oh shit, there's a halfling in here. They like potatoes. And Hawk is like, yes, we do like potatoes. They're very vanilla. Yes, not the fucking potatoes though. They're delicious with cheese. Anything you say, honey, and they just sort of like pat him on the head. Yes, you are very vanilla. Water? And they hand you a water. Not a mega pint of water, just a normal glass of water.
That's fine.
It's on the house. And then they're like, but if you want some vanilla essence, we have got some. And like, they just sort of wink at you and walk away.
How much was all that? Was
it's just 3 coppers. Just 6 coppers.
6 whole coppers.
6 whole coppers. But you get the feeling that they're not doing this for profit. They are genuinely doing this because they love it. So yeah. So okay. Russell is the other tiefling, and Russell is a like lavender skinned tiefling. Again, normally referred to as they.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one at the bar?
No. So the one at the bar is called Velia. Let me spell that.
I'm gonna need you to spell that.
Velia.
Wait, hang on. The barkeep is Russell.
No. The barkeep / tavern owner is Velia. I've just put it in.
Okay, that's fine.
The one that's like sort of doing the kitchens and sort of like helping with the bar is Russell, and they are in a relationship together.
Oh.
These guys are pure pans. So yeah. I mean, to be
I'll
fair,
just draw a pan next to it so I know.
you know. I mean, I
It's
like
like a magnifying glass, never mind.
I like to think that they are called the Pure Pans, like outside of the Driftwood Inn. It's the Pure Pans. Yeah. So you're in the Driftwood Inn, and Hawk is like, I'm glad this isn't the strip club one. That would have been a bit messy. And he tries to lift his mega pint of ale, and he can't. So he just stands up on like the bar stool and just sticks his head in it to drink it. So yeah.
Have you got a straw for him?
You would like a straw? We're a bit environmentally friendly here. We don't usually do straws.
Got a paper one then?
No. They come from trees.
What fucking beeping at?
I mean, we have a funnel, and like they bring out a funnel, and Hawk is like, no, seriously, it's fine. I sometimes drink them like this anyway. It's fun. And like he pops up and he looks like Father Christmas with all the foam across his mouth and like his eyebrows. Juliet is probably hanging from a strand of hair, completely fucking pissed out of her head as she's drank too much. And it's just like, wee.
Just take some apples, then you could be like looking for apples at Gymkhana.
Let's not go into that shitstorm tonight, guys. So yeah. You're at the Driftwood Inn. You've got rooms for the night. So Velia comes over and they go, we do have rooms. You don't have to share, don't worry. You know, just so you don't have the vanilla-ness spread. And they sort of like chuckle at Ig. But we have got a very like vanilla and cherry room for you. Is cherries okay? I hope they are. I'm sure you will love it. Wink.
Good.
Good. So each room is 2 gold for a night.
Okay.
But they all come with double beds.
Do they come with a bath?
So you asked, do they come with a bath? And like, not really. But we do have a bath, but it's a case of you have to book it. And then you get like 1 hour. So you know that bit in Red Dead where like you walk into that hotel in Valentine? It's like that basically.
Mm-hmm.
But we do.
There's a girl come in and scrub you.
Oh, you're that way inclined. Well, we can do.
Oh, no, that's not a character.
That big titty lady, that's who it is.
I was just about to say it's Big Titty Lily. She likes to admire the melons. Fucking hell. So you're like, does it have does somebody come in and wash you? Like,
no, I don't want to ask that.
Oh, okay. As a joke then, Hawk is, because I think Hawk is probably, hang on, I'll do a constitution saving throw for Hawk.
Is he pissed?
Oh no.
Hawk is very pissed. He got a natural 1.
Dear.
Oh no, wait, I can re-roll. Hawk is not pissed, he's very coherent, and he's like, my vanilla friend wants to know if somebody will come and rub his melons, and they're like, yeah, we can do. Not us personally. I mean, we are the Pure Pans, but yeah, we can have a male or female, or, I mean, if you want a sexy pan like myself, one of them can come in and rub your quote-unquote vanilla melons.
I'm going to drown you in that bath in a minute.
Well, because, like, there's no need to come on so much, you know. Give me time. There's no need to ravage me instantly. And, like, he just slowly backs away from you. You think I'm a bit drunk? Splosh. So, would you like to stay here, or would you like to go to the Beach Leviathan, which you definitely now know is the strip club?
I mean, we've just paid for rooms.
You haven't.
Well, I just have paid for a room.
You haven't paid for them yet, so it's up to you.
Well, I've taken 2 gold out of my inventory.
Oh, that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah, we'll stay here.
No, I like to think that Veska's like, yeah, I'll have a room, and Hort's like, you know what, me and Ig are going to go to the beach Leviathan, bye!
Bye, guys!
Bye, guys! So yeah, so you stay at the Driftwood Inn. Is anybody having a bath, shower? Yeah.
I'll put
Veska's still covered in blood, so yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so very similar to the Red Dead thing, it's like, if you want a bath, it's like, 5 silver for just like lukewarm water, if you like, but it's a gold piece if you want like a hot bath with bubbles, and somebody will come in with like a selection of fruit and like a glass of champagne, and if you want them to rub your melons, they will do. It's like, you know. So what would you like to do?
Have
I'll have
a
a
bath.
nice hot bath. Was it 2 gold or 1 gold?
So it's 2 gold for your room, but if
Yeah.
you want a lukewarm bath, it's 5 silvers. If you want a hot bath, it's 1 gold.
No, I don't.
Oh. Another gold out then.
Okay, so you both have hot baths. You have somebody come in with like a selection of fruits. Obviously, they'd ask, would you prefer this person or this person to come and attend to you, and whoever you chose would come to you. So you do notice that all these people here, it's a tiefling run bar. So Veska, you'll have like a female tiefling come in. Ig, you'll have another female tiefling come in. And very similar, just, you know, a lovely little selection of fruits, glass of champagne, and a nice hot soapy bath if anybody wanted to get like, you know, their back washed or whatever, that would happen. But yeah, so you have that happen. You go and have your like rooms for the night, and you just feel genuinely like well refreshed. The aches and pains that you've had from traveling like a pure 24 hours is slowly starting to fade away. And as you lay back on the bed, it's almost like the bed just envelopes you. It's like a big sausage roll, as it's just comfy and, you know. However, what I like to think is, if you wanted to, it's down to you. Like, you could have a bed, but it's actually a hammock, so the moment like you get on it, so it's like a mattress as a hammock.
That actually sounds amazing.
Okay.
I would immediately fall out and do my back in, but hopefully Veska wouldn't. So
Tell you what, do you want the hammock?
yes.
Do me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. This is going to go poorly.
If you reach past 12, you're on.
Okay, what am I rolling again, sorry?
Dexterity saving throw. Yeah.
Saving throw.
Saving
okay.
throw.
This is 7.
Roll me a strength check.
Oh, it's always fucking strength. Saving throw or just a check?
No, just a check.
Oh, it's the same. Doesn't matter.
Like you've fallen out, but I want to see like how bad you've hurt your back.
9.
Okay, so you've definitely fallen out, and you hear a small crack as you've landed on, you know, where like your tail connects to your back.
Tailbone.
Yeah, would it be a tailbone? Like,
well, like, literally, yeah.
Yeah, like you've probably cracked your tailbone. As you've gone from a height and landed on like, you know, driftwood floor, with a resounding crack. But I mean, like, you can still move it, but it's very, very painful, and you now look as though you've got like a swollen sort of ring around like the base of your tail. So like on the good side, it's if you drowned in the sea, you might have a buoyancy float, and if you don't, people are going to think you've got a huge knob at your back for some weird reason.
That's piles.
I know that's piles. So well done. So well done. You've got a tail knob. Anyway, so you what?
You licked my foot.
In the other room, you hear like a lot of giggling as like Cerberus is licking Ig's salty, cheesy, non-vanilla-y feet. I mean...
What I was going to ask, actually, was I was going to ask Veska if she wanted any of us to sleep in her room to make sure she doesn't get kidnapped again.
Is
Because
this...
what was part of the deal last time is no one was supposed to be on their own anymore.
So I'm going to say that, like, as you hear... So you hear Veska go, "Oh, cool, a hammock," followed by a swing, thud. Like, Ig then pops into the room and is like, "Oh, hey, Veska, like, do you want me to..." And you just see Veska with a big swollen sort of, like, knob tail looking up at you unhappily. Hawk comes in and he goes, "I was just about to get on my fucking hammock and already there's shit that's happened. What is it with you?
Watch yourself, they're not very secure."
Did you put a donut on the end of your tail? What the fuck is that? Do you need somebody to heal that?
You know what? That would be very much appreciated.
Don't even ask. He comes over and, like, he offers you a good berry and he's like, "Here, eat this." But yeah, no, best you don't eat the fucking good berry because I can't even trust you to eat those. And he just presses cure. He just uses cure wounds on your tail because he doesn't trust you to safely consume a berry.
I'm not so.
But you feel like you feel the swelling go down, and you feel like your bone almost like realign and not crack anymore.
Is that a new nickname?
Is that what? Sorry.
No.
What?
A new nickname?
Knobtail. Oh, it can be actually.
Knobtail.
We haven't given her a new nickname in a
I
while.
thought you said it was Knobtail.
It is Knobtail.
It's Knobtail.
Knobtail.
I
Customize.
can't remember what your name is on here anymore. Oh,
It's X Moneybags.
Like, yeah.
So, Knobtail.
The best part of this is that it's just going to come up for everybody else that you've just changed my name.
Yeah, I know. Well, to be fair, like, everybody else got a new nickname. So we had, like, Braeda the Ball Slayer, the Six-Pack Psycho, Bewilderment Intensifies, Get Your Shit Together. Like, you were just X Moneybags. So now that we have the new nickname Knobtail, like, it's definitely needed. I think the next one we need is Rebecca to have a new one. But yeah, anyway, you see, like, Veska's tail no longer become a knob, and Hawk is just like, "I don't trust you with berries. You're healed. Like, you are now healed, my child." But yeah, so Ig has just asked, would you prefer somebody staying in your room before the whole shenanigans?
I mean, I think I'm okay, but I mean,
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Who?
Veska, as she's talking.
15.
You're like, "Yeah, no," and the next minute, whack, as the hammock has gone back and then fucking whacked you in the side of the head. Oh, I was so looking forward to that. So yeah, you get hit in the side of the face by the hammock mattress. So Ig is on about asking, can he stay? You get whacked in the side of the face by a mattress. What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, ow. I mean, you nearly died the last time we left you unsupervised, so I think maybe we all stayed together.
So
you're in worse shape than I am at the moment.
So Hawk looks at you both and he goes, "I'm not disagreeing with the fact that, you know, maybe we all should stick together. So you're not apparently dying because that's what happened to you last time, and you're not getting possessed because apparently you weren't sleeping, you were possessed. But maybe we should have thought about this before we all fucking paid for a room each. Just putting it out there."
I'm guessing that the rest of the party are here as well, though. So.
Probably. I mean, yeah. Braeda, I'd like to think they were all in this room at this entire time. So it's like, you've all paid for 5 rooms, but essentially we're all just going to fucking camp out in one.
Oh, we can have it like 2 or something.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Would Bexy camp out in the same room? Probably not. She might go...
She'd have her own room. She'd have her own room.
Yeah. Or she'd be in the sea at the minute. she'd be going, this is not a Bexy
Yeah, that's
problem.
true, actually.
Yeah. Tell you what then, I mean, Rebecca might disagree, but, like, you look out the window and you see, like, a rubber dinghy, and there's just, like, Bexy just floating in the sea.
She's on holiday.
Yeah, on a holiday with, like, a mega pint of water and, like, a little umbrella, and some cherries in it, just...
The dinghy, one of those, like, really tacky, like, kid-sized ones you get at, like, seaside shops.
You mean the ones that look like a rubber tyre sort of thing?
No, like, you see them sometimes at, like, touristy shops at the beach, and it's just, like, a little rubber dinghy, but it's tiny, it's for kids.
If you want, yeah, she's managed to perch herself in that, and she's just, like, quite happily, like, floating around. Danim's on one as well. He's just, half of him's, like, in the water, and the other half is just chilling on this, like, unseasonably warm water, enjoying himself. But yeah, she's having the time of her life, having peace from the rest of you, not having to look at somebody's knob tail that's no longer there, and is just Bexy's having a wonderful holiday.
I feel like every single session I end up writing a note where it's just like, Bexy's enjoying the peace and quiet by herself.
She's got it right.
She's been with us for so long. Like, I'm gonna go.
She's enjoying her time in the sea, but there's a cardboard cutout of Bexy, just, you know, like, it's the I'm not angry, just disappointed look at you, and she sets it up before she leaves to have some peace and quiet.
You know why she's having so much peace and quiet?
Why?
Because she's fucking dead.
God. You can tell Rebecca then that you fucking killed a character, I'm not. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, Bexy is enjoying her time in the sea, with Danim. But yeah, you would have, like, Braeda in here as well. More than likely. In fact, I think Braeda would, as, like, the mattress is swinging back and forth, like, I could imagine Braeda to be headbutting it to see, like, how fast she can get it to swing or something. So, yeah. So Hawk is like, so we paid for separate rooms, but we're all going to stay in one room.
Don't have to.
And
no, we don't have to, we can whatever, but it's just a thought.
Braeda's like, I will have you know, I am a married woman, and I will only sleep with Veska. Like, Kill will get the wrong idea if I have you, Ig, or you, Hawk, in this room. And then she's like, actually, no, we need to keep an eye on Ig in case them dastardly ravens or something. And Hawk is like, well, I mean, I think Kill is very on power right now that he understands that me and Ig, as much as you're a beautiful lady, we wouldn't be looking, I mean, for fuck's sake, I don't particularly swing that way, I don't think. So, you know, I don't think marriage proposal between you and I are on the table. And, like, Braeda would hear in her head, fucking damn right, from Kill. So, yeah.
Let's face it, Braeda's going to be sleeping in her own bed, like, spooning the fridge. Just, like, you know.
To be fair, because Braeda is so protective, I can imagine her, like, on one side, Veska in the middle, and the fucking fridge on the other end, and she's just, like, trying to spoon you all, and, like, her arms aren't long enough to spoon you and the fridge. So, like, she's got her arms around Veska, but then her fingertips are, like, stretched out that much that it's just barely touching the fridge.
Aww.
So, all goes, well, look, I haven't got a problem if anybody wants me to stay in this room and keep an eye on things, especially as it always seems to happen when I'm not in the room. Or I could set up a leader. She could happily, probably best I don't actually set up fucking... How big is this room? And he sort of judges it's not big enough to house a fucking owl. And he's like, I can stay in the room.
I don't think any of us particularly like trying to sleep when there's a massive fucking owl just like watching us.
Yeah, well, don't worry, I'll just go back to my room and go to sleep.
Well, if you die in the night, don't blame us.
Don't mourn for me.
I like how you two are like, fuck you if you sleep in your... And Hawker's just still trying to assess, like, Whether it's big enough to have a fucking owl in the room. Is it big? I don't know. I'm only 3 foot. Is it 3 height? Is it 3 lots of me standing on top of each other? And he's like, no, I don't think it is. It'd be like 2 and a bit. So yeah. So you
Meanwhile, I'm already trying to think about what's in Egg's inventory that I can loot after his demise.
Okay, so are you going to loot him now or at night?
No. I'll do the decent thing and wait till he's dead.
You know. Okay. So you all go to sleep. And Hawk basically just decides to take some short rests. So he will sleep in Veska's room for a certain amount of time, and then he will get up and he will go to Ig's room for a certain amount of time. But he's basically there to keep an eye on both of you more or less as best as he can.
So do we take a long rest?
Yep, you can take a long rest. So what would you do as you're like getting ready for bed, or would you stay up and do something?
I will probably just go to bed because it's been a day.
So you get ready for bed. Ro just jumps onto the mattress, waits for you to settle down, and then snuggles into you as best as he can. And you get these feelings like he's trying to communicate to you, look, I'm here. You've got me. I will keep you safe. And he starts doing like some bunny boxing before, you know, he cleans himself and then just like nestles into you as best as he can. You, as you're like getting ready for bed, and you know, I was about to say turn off the candle. You can't turn what? How does one turn a candle? As you like blow out the candle, you hear and like it's the longest Keith you've ever heard. As he's not figured out where you have gone. He's seen you climb up on something, but he's not figured out you've climbed onto a hammock mattress. And he's currently just sat beneath it screaming.
Oh, fucking Keith. So I like really begrudgingly clamber awkwardly out of the hammock.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
This is gonna go so well. Where's that acrobatics? Natural 20 plus 3.
You're fine. Now roll me. You've got dark.
Add it to my skill list. I can successfully get out of a hammock.
You've got dark vision, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you managed to like clamber your way out. Ro gives off this feeling of what the fuck, I was snuggled. Before like you pick up Keith. So the moment you pick him up, it's like Keith, and just shuts up. So you climb back into the bed. Ro goes back to snuggle up against you, but he's more or less tucked himself under your chin. Keith starts hopping about, just sort of checking the perimeter of like the mattress. He looks out the window for a bit, goes Keith, and then he comes over and he sort of like nestles himself between your horns. He's seen Ro like nestle himself under your chin, and now he's trying to like recreate that, but he's not quite got the common sense that he's to be close to your body, and he thinks like your horns are part of your body, but it's not like you're going to feel them as much, if that makes sense. So he nestles himself between your horns and thinks that he's like snuggling into you, but he's not. He's just snuggling into like the back of. Isn't Veska's head shaved though? Like part of it.
Yeah, she's got like.
Yeah. So no, you would feel part.
I bet shape it is just like all at the front. So she's got like hair like from about here.
Yeah.
There.
So you would probably feel him a bit like as nestled into the back of your head as possible between the horns, and he's just like, and snuggles in. So as you're sleeping, Ig, what are you doing at night? Like, how are you preparing for the evening? You just going to bed?
He's very reluctant to sleep. He's very reluctant to sleep at the moment, considering what's happened recently.
Okay, so
he's probably doing everything he can to stay awake.
Okay, so you walk in and Hawk basically waits till Veska's all sort of sorted, and he quietly closes the door and he walks in and he goes, "Oh, Ig, are you alright? Are you still up?"
Yeah, I'm alright.
Okay, you going to sleep? long day tomorrow if we have to take on the Fae. You're not going to sleep, are you son of a bitch?
No. Can you blame me?
Yes.
Just out of interest, does an 18 hit?
Probably. Is he gonna knock me out, the bastard? Yeah, does hit.
Okay. For story purposes, you're like, no, I'm staying awake. You hear shillelagh before all of a sudden you get fucking smacked in the head by his wooden rhythm stick and you're knocked out cold onto the mattress.
Bastard.
He picks up your legs as best as he can, balancing you between the mattress and like himself, and he more or less just shoves you on because the mattress is taller than what he is. Cerberus, who's in neutral, thank God, is just watching this, and he's like, on one hand, like, my master's just been hit in the back of the head by this little fuck, but on the other hand, like, he needed to go to sleep, so I'm not going to intervene. And Cerberus just hops up and like curls himself around you. So yeah, like you manage.
I will remember this.
Ig will remember. So Hawk looks at you and he manages to climb up, pulls like the covers over you and tries to tuck you in as best as possible. And he's like, right, well that's that one done. So he's like, I think it's probably best if I just sleep in the hallway, and then I might be able to keep an eye on both of them at the same time. And he's like, right, okay. So he goes into his room. He brings out like a pillow because he's not got a hammock. Because he can't be asked to keep climbing up and down. So he brings out a pillow and he brings out like a blanket, but the blanket's probably like, so it's like a toddler bringing out a double-sized duvet. Like, he brings it out. He ignores people telling him what the fuck is he doing in the hallway. He puts the pillow down literally between your two rooms and brings the duvet over him and just like huddles in it. And he's created like a duvet igloo. So he falls asleep essentially, and he tells Juliet to keep an eye on the rooms. So at some point, you're both sleeping. Would you say you sleep the whole night through? Would you get up for a piss or a glass of water, or?
I mean, maybe. I mean, that beer had to go somewhere, I suppose.
Okay. Tell you what, roll me Constitution. Just a Constitution check.
Okay. Oh, what dice have I not used tonight? Where's my con? Dirty 20.
Okay. You don't need the toilet, so you have like a, sleep through. Ig, what did you get on con?
I didn't roll con.
Roll me a con.
16 plus con.
So yeah, you don't need to go to the toilet. You wake up. So yeah,
I'm glad about that.
Yeah, no, like you both have like as peaceful nights, unless obviously somebody got up to have like a glass of water or I don't know, swim in the sea with Bexy, who knows. You wake up the next day and Veska.
Yeah.
You feel that swelling sensation again on your tail.
No.
And as you turn around, you see somebody has mushroom kebabbed your tail again. But this time, they've not just stopped at the tail. You go to get out of bed and you realise they've put mushrooms on each of your toes.
Ooh, that's really creepy.
And it's like you've got mushroom paws or mushroom slippers.
Mushroom slippers!
Mushroom slippers.
I love
that. As you're waking up, you basically hear what the fuck, and like, what would you do after you hear what the fuck?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, you. Like Ig as well. Oh. What would you hear? What the fuck coming from the hallway?
Okay.
I'd probably be halfway through trying to like take away all of these. I'd probably start with the tail, so I've probably still got mushrooms on my feet.
Okay. So, you run out with, like, mushrooms still on your feet. You see, like, Hawk has got, like, mushrooms fucking stuck on either of his pointy ears, and you see that Juliet has been rammed into a big mushroom. So, all you're seeing is, like, 8 legs, or 6 legs, I've forgotten how many it is, like, trying to, like, figure out why they're stuck in a mushroom. Like, you can't see a body, just 8 legs, like, pierced out of a mushroom.
It's like a hermit crab.
Yeah, it's a hermit shroom.
Sorry, where were Hawk's mushrooms?
Hawk's mushrooms, so he had like
Ears.
2, because he's got like elven ears, if you like, so they're just like on his pointy ears. Yeah, it looks like he's got ball chains, but the mushroom chains attached to his ears, and then fucking Juliet has just been shoved into a mushroom with her 8 legs like poking out. Ig, you come out and you realise that you've got like a mushroom on your nose, and you're like, oh, mushroom.
Love it. Check that way.
Okay. So you're like, oh, mushroom. So yeah, you've all been hit with like mushrooms. Hawk is still looking at like fucking Juliet and a mushroom. He's like, how the fuck did he? What the fuck? What is this sorcery?
Just kind of like, just don't try to understand. It's just a thing that happens now.
Is this
hopping,
Keith?
Like trying to go back to the room, but like hopping on one leg, just trying to like throw off all the mushrooms.
Do me an acrobatics check.
Oh, I knew that was coming. What I haven't used today. Oh, I'm not using you again. You fell on the floor. Doesn't count. What we're doing, acrobatics?
Yeah.
18.
Okay. So you're managing to keep on like 1 foot, but as you're jumping around, like you hear Keith as you fucking land on Keith and squash him. Which in turn, because it's that much of a squash, you send fucking mushrooms flying off his back. And you then hear, how the fuck? And then you hear Hawk thud to the ground, as one of these mushrooms is very similar to the ones that cause like paralysis. And like you just see him laying there, paralysed in the hallway, still holding Juliet, who's in a fucking mushroom, trying to figure out what life is anymore.
I don't know, my brain stopped working when you just went, Keith!
I made Keith roll a perception check. Because, like,
oh, no.
to see if he knew to stay out the way, and he fucking rolled a 2, so he didn't know to stay out the way. So because you did that well with the acrobatics, you just fucking squashed him. Oh, Jesus. But you now know that, like, potentially Keith's mushrooms can cause paralysis, as, like, demonstrated by Hawk.
You know when you said your handwriting looks like one of those heart monitors?
Yeah.
I think mine's just had a stroke.
Oh, God. I like how tonight was like, we're going to recon, and it's just turned into fucking shenanigans.
Yeah. We didn't even... No, we've been to one shop.
Yeah.
We've been to one shop.
No cheese melons.
Got 2 melons.
Shit.
You only got 1 now. 1 melon.
I like to think that, like, whilst all this is going on, like, Veska's fucking squashed a frog, Hawk is paralysed on the floor with a mushroom spider, Ig's, like, tucking into one of his melons, and he's like, melon. Ig, roll me a 1d6, please.
3.
Okay, so Cerberus is chaotic neutral today.
Oh, God.
So he sees Hawk fall to the floor, and because you were like, I can't believe that little shit knocked me out, you see Cerberus come over, grab Hawk by his ankle, and starts furiously shaking him. Hawk, who's like paralysed, can't do shit, as he's just being like ragdolled on the hallway, completely paralysed, still holding this mushroom spider. And all you can see is Juliet's legs, like, frantically trying to get out of the mushroom.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And I'll just stop
just
hopping.
like bellow, leave at him.
So he listens. He, like, his ears flatten against his head. He tucks his tail under him, and he, like, walks away into your room.
I'll throw him a mushroom.
You throw him a mushroom, and then you hear thud, as he's now paralysed from eating the mushroom.
Oh, fuck.
I thought that was brilliant. So yeah, what would you all like to do? Your druid is fucking paralysed, your blink dog is paralysed, Bexy's still in the sea, and Braeda's probably still sleeping with her fridge. Oh, and Keith is squished.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean...
Very elastic.
Yeah.
Keith will never die. My horse is well, but Keith will never die.
Keith is like that Stretch Armstrong toy that they keep bringing out every so often. But, like, he hardly has any mushrooms on his back, because with the force of you, like, jumping on him, they've, like, popped out of his body, and that's what's, like, paralysed Hawk and Cerberus.
See, I'm just performing everyday, like, maintenance. It's fine. Fine, he needs them removed for his own health.
How do you properly look after your funguli? Squash the fucker.
Throw him out a window.
Enrichment, okay?
Feed him knives. So, probably about 10 minutes later, Hawk sort of comes out of the paralysis. I'd probably say at this point, Juliet's just given up at trying to escape the mushroom. She's been trying to, in that 10 minutes, she's been trying to, like, eat her way out of it. But because, like, her little nibs are that squished into, like, the mushroom surface, like, it's been a slow, sort of, like, arduous journey. But Hawk wakes up and he's like, I still don't understand how you got squashed in the mushroom, but... And he, like, rips it open and Juliet's like, yay, I'm free. Probably about 2 minutes later, Cerberus is like, oh, back up. But starts, like, eating all the bits of mushrooms that aren't paralysing type mushrooms.
How many paralysing mushrooms do we have, by the way? Because I want to very carefully put them in a bag.
Oh, like, chop them off Keith.
Yeah.
So, like, two have shot off.
Well, any that have fallen off that haven't been, like, eaten.
Tell you
or
what,
whatever.
roll me a 1d10 and detract 2.
Oh, a different dice.
A different dice, damn it.
Again. Which one's a D10? I always forget.
Or just roll me a 1d8.
No, that's fine. D10. 8.
Yeah. So you've got, like, 8 paralysing mushrooms. So you carefully, like, sit Keith down and you start chopping them off his back. So you've now got a purple funguli with no mushrooms. Like, you still see some, like, leftover stem bits.
I can do a dramatic reenactment.
Exactly. There you go.
Happy Keith.
Yep, happy Keith. So the
Hey,
moment...
this is the one you need, Egg, because the mushrooms are held on with pins, so you can use them like a little voodoo doll.
So the moment you take the last mushroom off Keith, he goes from Keith. As, like, his voice has changed. So you notice, like, the more mushrooms he has on his back, like, the higher the pitch of his voice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, so he goes around and is like, Keith.
He's a lad now.
But yeah, he's quite. It's probably spooked the fuck out of Juliet as you see her, like, run up Hawk's arm and just refuses to come out of his head. But yeah, like, would you like? So this is probably. Oh shit, we didn't roll, did we? I'll roll a 1d10 because this was to see whether you woke up at, like, 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah.
So I got a 2. So this is, like, 1 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning?
In the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you wake up, it's all
1 a.m.
dark. Like, most people are asleep still. So you guys could
Somehow.
continue sleeping till morning at 8, or you could start, like, some of your recon work now. It's up to you, but you've had a long rest.
Might as well get started.
Yeah.
No time like the present.
Nope. So, you know that this portal is somewhere within the Neverwinter Woods, excuse me. You don't know where, though. But you have seen some Eldrin elves purchase some fancy sort of stuff from local shops. So, what plans do you have?
Well, I think that if Ig is to be the guest of honour at Silversday,
Right.
I think he needs to get a fancy outfit.
Well,
Because-
It's not a sequin tags like we talked about earlier.
the
What was that?
The sequin one.
Tell you what, would Ig go and buy
I'm not
some-
having that.
You're not having that.
No, I'm not having a
I'm
sequin
intrigued.
outfit.
Spoil sport. Kay had sent me like a white sparkly tuxedo, and I was like, yeah, Ig should definitely buy that for Silversday Festival.
It was. We were all about distracting people, and I said maybe we need maybe he needs to wear something shiny.
Yeah, that was it. Oh yeah. And she showed me this like fucking disco ball suit, and I'm like, yeah, that will definitely work for the Silversday Festival. So you know you could potentially ask somebody that's Eldrin. You could have a look and see if there's anybody that knows anything to do with the Fae, or have a look within the Neverwinter Woods, and see if you can find any Fae creatures. You're aware that through Fae shenanigans that this place is unseasonably warm. One of the biggest things that Hawker said is Blue knows Neverwinter. So there's potential Hawk might actually know where this is, even though Blue can't remember. I mean, Hawk probably doesn't remember, but he might roll high. He
could
might
hypnotise
remember
him.
things.
Well, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do?
Does Hawk remember? Last Hawk.
No,
First of all,
I don't really remember. I mean, I'm sure if we...
try harder.
No, I'm sure if we walk around I might remember something. I mean, I remember walking into the woods.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah,
I knew it
I
was in the way
remember...
anyway, but...
I remember like a rundown mansion. There was something like that in the woods.
Ooh.
But I can't remember how to get to the mansion. I
Well,
can't
to ask somebody.
I could do. See,
Or we could just ask around, you know.
this is why you don't follow Blue after he's been to the strip club. He just... Too many shots. Way too many shots. And, yeah, as he's saying that, you see, like, his face start going bright red. And he's like, anyway, onwards. And he starts
story
like...
to tell there, Hawk.
No, I don't. I really don't. I must get going. Is Bexy back from the sea? Bexy! And, like, he opens up the window that's on the hallway, and, like, he just fucking jumps out of it and turns into a bird.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not cool when Keith goes out the window, but when he goes out the window, it's fine. Okay, double standard. Whatever.
You hear a fuck you in your head as like Hawk is just still flying away, but within 60 feet of you.
As he leaps out the window, he's just like, bye.
Yeah. Like, you probably hear like a shriek coming from a Hawk as, like, you know, Hawk is like, I can't believe you've just said that. But he scouts around, and at this point Bexy's probably back. And he's like, right, I'm back. So you head into town, and it's obviously early morning, so it's not as busy. There's still some people, like, quite a few of the taverns are still open. Some, like, shops are open as well. Not many. You do happen to weirdly notice, like, quite a few of them are, like, the dress shops that are open this late. There's some market stalls that's selling food that's open. They seem to be selling, like, festival food, weirdly enough. But Mildew's Melons is no longer open, I'm sorry to say.
Damn.
I know.
He doesn't have special festival melons?
No, he doesn't have special festival melons.
Fine.
He's just a half-orc in a human world trying to make ends meet. So yeah, they're too vanilla for his melons, I think.
Obviously.
So as you're leaving the Driftwood Inn, you hear Elliot just call out, and it's like, I hope you had a good stay. I heard a thud upstairs. Is everything alright?
Everything's fine. Just didn't quite develop my sea legs in the way that I hoped.
I am sorry. Would you like?
No. It's fine.
Are you sure?
It was hilarious.
So yeah, it's hilarious, and like he's you can see like he was getting ready to eat something, and you look down and you notice like a newspaper cone, and inside is some chips with salt on them, and he's like, I am terribly sorry. Would you like some chips? We've just made some.
Wouldn't say no.
Yeah. Okay. So he hands you the cone of chips, and these like freshly baked like chips. These are homemade. They're nice, chunky. You know them like 3 thingy chips. I think it's like they like cook them 3 times or something, so they're like extra crunchy but soft on the inside.
Best.
Yeah, he hands you those, and he's like, "You're welcome back anytime. It was lovely having you. Yeah, just enjoy yourself. Damron said you were really soft in the bath. Like I think she would enjoy seeing you again." And she's like, "Anyway, bye." So yeah, like you.
I just raised my eyebrow at her, like, really?
So Damron is the female tiefling, and she's a red tiefling. She's quite busty, as well, quite curvy, but she's like, oh god, you know Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Is it Jessica? I've forgotten her fucking name.
Jessica Rabbit, yeah.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Do you remember the line where she's like, they made me this way? I can't remember the whole line. It's something like...
I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way.
That's it. She's very much like that. Like, she's that sort of way, so you think, oh, and she's like, no, I'm actually asexual. She's that. But, like, she sometimes likes to play on it as well. And she is very gay. But, yeah. Damron said you're very soft. Come again. So, yeah. You met Jessica Tiefling Rabbit. Well done. So you head out into Neverwinter, and like I said, you do see some stores that still open. Somebody's selling like butter on a stick, or corn dogs, or churros. Somebody's selling burgers, or you could have fried onions on the burgers, or chicken wraps. Just fast food, junk food. Nobody's selling fruit, because fuck fruit. That's for the daylight people. But there does
nobody sells fruit because that's for the daylight people.
Yeah, that's just for the daylight people. Criminals. I mean, it is early morning, you could technically say, but like, fuck them daylight people. So yeah, you do, as you're walking around, you see quite a few people are actually dressed up in their airs and graces, and they seem to be waiting. Like, they're strutting around. They're keeping an eye on like the sundial or the stars, or and they just seem to be like making the way. You do notice quite a few of these are sort of Eldrin people. However, you do happen to see certain certain musical people. So you do see some bards, but there's a range of different bards. You see like there's one dwarven bard, there's a few humans, a couple of half elves, there's one tiefling, and you notice this tiefling is from the group you had seen earlier. This tiefling is wearing quite revealing sort of clothes, but got a guitar strapped to his back, and he's like, yep, ready to go. And they all just seem to be enjoying each other's company in like the sort of main square.
Well, Veska will saunter over.
Okay.
And just, my people, and she'll just like brandish her lute.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to look like she knows how to play it, even though she really doesn't.
Roll me a deception check or a performance check.
No, which one's better? So what did you say, performance or deception?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be deception then.
Okay.
Sparkly die, you have me over. 10.
Okay. So you brandish your loot and you're like, "Hey, people!" And they're like, "Hey, are you waiting for the Silversday Festival as well? Where's your gear? Somebody stunning as you should be in a ball gown." And you realise this is the tiefling from earlier, Ricalis. So the guy that's not quite.
What's his name?
I didn't realise it was like a formal.
Ralicas, sorry, not Ricalis. Ralicas.
What's his name?
I've just sent it, sorry, Ralicas. And he's like, "Yeah, like you should be in a ball gown, come on." And he like hooks his arm through yours and just starts dragging you to the nearest sort of like dress ballroom shop. Everybody else, you see Veska just fucking kidnapped by this bard who's sort of like, it's almost like he's in like leather gear, if that makes sense, not like a full gimp suit or anything, but like quite revealing. And he takes her into this shop. So he takes her into a shop called the Butterfly Ballroom, and you see an Eldrin elf behind, and she's like, "Oh, good evening."
We're following as well.
Okay, so you all walk in, and she's like, "What's this rabble doing in my store?"
Oh, this rabble. This is my crew. They help me with performances and setting things up and things.
Oh, do they? Oh, you are such a wonderful, kind young tiefling to be giving a human such a high job. Well done, you. Well done, you.
I mean, I know he's very plain, but some people like that, and it's nice to have a bit of variety.
If you say so, dear. And she sort of like tweaks her glasses. You're just what?
I'm dispensable.
Yeah, you're like.
Sorry, you said I'm just flexible.
I'm that too.
So you're like, "I'm dispensable," and she like pulls her glasses down and she's like, "Yes, darling, you are." And then you're like, No, I'm flexible." And Ricalis goes, "Oh, are you now?" So fucking Hawk comes over and he's like, "Aye, he is. He's my flexible. Fuck off." And Ricalis is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you a thing?" And Hawk is like, "At the minute, yes we are. Please move." And like he goes, "Oh, well," and he like pulls out a card from like a little pocket and he goes, "If you're ever looking for some fun," and he like motions at Ig and starts like gyrating his hips, and Hawk just like puts his hand on Ricalis' hip and he's like, "No, we're alright, thank you, we don't need the show. I have one like homosexual tiefling to deal with, I don't need another. Goodbye." And like just shoves him away. So meanwhile the lady who's called Mira is just interesting. Very interesting indeed. Anyway, darling, what are you in the market for?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's the festival.
Of course.
Unfortunately, I was waylaid on the road here, and all of my things were stolen by these terrible bandits.
Roll me deception.
Oh, what should I roll? I'm gonna go for my favorite dice. Please don't let me down. 16.
Okay, that meets it, so I'm gonna say you'll pass. So she's like, "Oh, that's terrible, darling. Which Fey Lord has commissioned you?"
Oh, it's Lord Faversprite. He's
Faversprite.
Anyone we know.
No, that guy.
So you're like, "Oh, it's Lord Faversprite," and tell you what, roll me a quick perception check. I'm gonna see how fast Hawk is for you.
Okay, perception. 16 plus.
Oh yeah, you've managed to hear it. So as your like favourite, you hear Hawk in your head turn around and he's like, "Titania, it's fucking Queen Titania. Queen.
Oh, sorry, What did I say? Did I say favorite spread? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was talking. We were talking about to him the other day.
Oh, right.
Tanya, of course. That's the
Oh,
one.
the queen herself.
Sorry, I'm still taken out. It's awful.
Oh, you must. Oh, darling, you must be extremely special. Well, you shouldn't have any of this tish tosh. And she like pretty much displays to like most of her shop, and she's like, come, only the best for the queen's bards. And like she drags you to the back of the shop where like the really expensive shit is, and a lot of this is like ball gowns, but like so she's dragged you to the back because she thinks you are Queen Titania's bard. Now, judging by the fact that she's dragged you where it's like, you know, quite a lot of these fancy sparkly sort of ball gowns, they're in an array of colours, so unfortunately it can't be like revealing like Recalis or just like a normal dress or anything. What would Veska choose if she was forced in this situation?
Well, probably not a ball gown if she could help it.
She's not going to get away with it. Unless you blow your cover, she's not going to get away with it.
That purple one looks nice.
Yes, darling. You keep staring at the grapes costume as you're now looking at like a gown that's made of balloons. It's just purple balloons that looks like grapes. And you're like, this purple one is nice. And she's like, quite. It's a bit simple, isn't he, that one?
He was from a little farming town. When I met him, he hasn't really seen much of the world. So
he's so going to play into it.
And if anything, you know, nice, still a bit of a novelty, really.
So you're saying that? I want you to roll me an insight check, as that is so weird. Insight or perception, whichever.
Sorry. 18.
Okay, so as you're like, yeah, he's from a small farming town, like your eyes linger over to Hawk and you just see him stood there like, and he walks out the store. So so she shows you these ball gowns, so you know you can't, unfortunately, you don't have to wear it, it's just in this situation, unless you choose one, you are going to blow your cover.
Okay, what are my sort of choices? Is there something?
Whatever Veska would probably wear, it's just you choose the ball gown in your mind, because... Nothing
froofy. Something
classical,
maybe with some gems.
Like classical sort of... I don't know why Marilyn Monroe is coming to my head, but something like that's really...
You're thinking something very slim?
Yeah, I'm thinking...
A bit more slinky, but not like...
Yeah.
Not like straps?
Something like Morticia Adams, but not as much as that.
Hold on, I'm going to look on my Pinterest board for Veska.
Okay.
Because I see what outfits I added to her thing.
Okay.
And see if there's anything.
At some point, you find like this perfect ball gown. You know, to whatever Veska would choose. And she's like, oh yes, darling, that's wonderful, wonderful. Oh, Queen Titania will be so excited and happy. Come. And she's like, so, normally I would charge 100,000 gold for this.
Of course.
But I mean, as your Queen Titania's, but if you could put in a good word for me, I would let it go for 10,000 gold pieces.
I mean, that's an absolute bargain.
It is, isn't it?
Truly.
Oh, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Writing notes quickly before I forget.
Sorry. So Ig, what are you doing? As you do realise there are a selection of suits here, or if you want to go in a dress, you can do, or the grape dress, you can do.
I've only got one melon, so...
Are you still going around holding a melon?
Salad outfit.
I was going to say, does he have to wear a suit as well?
Hang on, did anybody ever see that fucking show? And it was like a kids show, and there'd be like people dressed up as shapes, and it would go, I am a circle. I am a square. Like, I can fucking imagine. I'll have to find it. I can imagine it coming in. Just like, I am a melon.
That's your code name now.
Melon.
Like egg, a melon. I think actually melancholy. I know you said that earlier for like the shopkeeper's name, but that's like a great name for egg in general. Like
Melancholic. I suppose I'll have to buy a suit.
Okay.
Yes, you will.
So. Okay, so you peruse around the suits and you do see the glittery disco ball suit that we were on about earlier. But quite a lot of these are, you know, like fancy sort of suits. You could have any colour you want. Like, what would Ig choose as a suit? You know, she's got to dress up.
What? He would probably, is he going in as basically Veska's help?
If you want to, you can
do.
I
think that's probably your best bet, because no one ever looks for help, really, do they?
No, exactly. So I would probably be something that looks very uniform and very blends in and looks very staff-like, I guess.
Okay. So you, again, whatever colour style, that's down to you. I'm not going to tell you what you wear. So you find a suit and you bring
What's your band colour, Veska?
What's my what?
What's your band colour?
Bright pink.
This obviously is a little bit more dramatic, but if you made it slightly less revealing, that's probably the best I could think of.
Yeah.
Probably just
that was actually in my folder anyway.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is cool.
Rather snazzy.
So, would you say it doesn't have, like, the leg slits, like, the dress, like, the flowy bit is all the way down, but it has, like, the back bits cut out? Yeah.
Yeah, it would probably have the open bits at the top, but it would just be
dress all the way down. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, you purchased that, and she's like, you know, excellent choice, 10,000 gold pieces.
At some point while I'm paying, I'll probably just like lean into Egg a little bit and just be like, this fucking better be worth it. This is most of my money, you know.
Roll me a deception check. Or, no, roll me a stealth check to see if she hears this.
Okay. Dice, what are you doing?
You can blame Braeda. She got you the job.
I mean, Braeda's...
That's a solid 8.
Okay, so she still somehow hasn't heard you, which is great. But she's probably distracted at the fact that Braeda is probably trying to steal something from her store, I would say. I'm not entirely sure if Braeda would, but like we're just going to say for this at the minute, she's probably trying to steal a suit or a dress or something for herself.
Yeah, something to add cord.
Yeah, like just something for her to wear. I'm just going to see if she'd pass. Oh, fuck me, of course she would. She got a fucking 19. Okay.
Braeda takes the most expensive dress in the shop.
If that's what you want to run with, sure. So Braeda got a 19 without adding on anything else. The woman got like a natural 20, but because Braeda hasn't added on the stats, like Braeda would still win. So yeah, for shits and giggles, Braeda has stolen the most fucking expensive dress that was probably popped in the window of the store. And she's just like undressed the mannequin, stuffed it in her bag of holding, and just pissed off.
Put the mannequin in the bag of holding.
I don't think... Okay, she's put the mannequin and the dress in the bag of holding. Well done.
She's gonna be so pleased.
But yeah, I mean, she's managed to steal it. So, Ig, for your suit, she would probably charge you 250 gold pieces.
Oh, fucking.
It's probably
it pays to be an average human.
I tell you what, it's probably like the most... I mean, to you, it's still like really nice fabric, but it's like the shittiest suit she has. And she's like, yeah, that was on the clearance bargain bucket sort of sale. And you're like, yes. But like everybody... I don't know if Bexy would buy anything. Probably would. I'm just going to say probably not at this point. Okay. So if she did, that's fine. If she didn't, either way. So you see Braeda hopping up and down because she's stolen a mannequin and the most expensive dress in the store. You see Hawk just sort of like trying not to pay attention to you in particular, Veska, whilst glaring daggers at Ralicus. And you see Ig quite chuffed with his like fucking expensive but not expensive suit.
It's payback for me getting the bargain horse last time and him forking out. So
yeah,
it works out.
It works out. So the woman pops her head out and she goes, "Don't forget to tell them about the ballroom butterfly, darling. Good luck."
Oh, of course. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Stuff this back into my
So
bag somewhere.
So Ricalus is sort of grinning at you, and he keeps like he grins at you, and then he looks at Ig, and then he's like, and then looks back at you, Veska, and he goes, "So, Queen Titania's bard, are you?"
That's correct. Yes.
You fucking liar! And like he slaps you on the back and takes off laughing, and he goes, I'm Queen Titania's bard."
Oh.
It's just I don't prefer to go for the ballroom stuff, and he like, flicks his suspenders. I prefer the more revealing stuff. And he goes, "So, do you
What's
know
this guy's name? Sorry.
Ralicus.
Oh, there. Okay,
Ralicus.
right.
And I was like, "So
Just keep spelling again.
So he goes, "Do you know where the portal is?"
Hold on. That
Okay.
seems like important information, and I need to write down his name.
Ralicus.
Actually, Titania's bard.
So this is somebody that's been chosen by Queen Titania. And he's wearing quite revealing clothes, which is probably going to be interesting potentially at later times.
Oh
dear.
Might give you a clue. So he's like, "Yeah, do you know where the portal is?"
No, we were no, we don't. Do you?
It's our first time.
Oh, I like them for their first times, and he just sort of like raises his eyebrows. He turns around and he sees Hawk like staring fucking daggers at this guy, and he's like, and like Ricalus is just like, "Tell your chihuahua to calm down," and he goes, "It's fine. That's the wrong accent. It's fine. I know where the portal is. Follow me." And he starts making his way basically out the square of Neverwinter. Starts heading towards Neverwinter Forest.
Okay.
But you do notice like quite a few people are now starting to make their way down there as dawn is fast approaching.
Oh.
So that's where we're going to end it tonight.